To the left of the steering column, there's some buttons and switches here. So there is to release the trunk. It doesn't have a power lift gate, but you can release it there. This is the headlight switch, so you have the off, parking, automatic, and headlights there. Fog lights are controlled here, and then the dimmer switch for the interior gauges are here. There's also a tilt and telescoping steering column here. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall. I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And I would say that I need to pull it up slightly, but if you're over 6 feet tall, then you want to go ahead and take it for a test drive, and you know, maybe 6'1", 6'2", you'd probably be fine, but any more than that, you want to really make sure you can fit in this vehicle. Definitely under the hatch. So if you're more than 6 feet tall and you're walking underneath that lift gate, then, you know, definitely have to duck your head, basically. So as far as tall people, you want to get around the vehicle and use it and make sure that it's right for you. It's not like it's really small, but you know, there's some issues as far as the height in the back, and potentially I could see where, you know, if you're over 6'2" on this vehicle, then it might be a little bit of issue as far as legroom. So it has a wrap steering wheel, and it feels like a vinyl wrap, and has stitching there on the inside. It looks pretty good. It's got some gloss black metallic accent there. Nice Bronco horse. The cruise controls here on the left side. It's pretty interesting because you can set it up in the system to where it's just regular cruise control, or adaptive cruise control, or intelligent cruise control. So basically, intelligent cruise control is that it'll be adaptive and everything, but it'll change when it sees the speed limit change. It'll go ahead and automatically change the speed limit for you in the system. Like the cruise control will set at the different speed, and you can set a tolerance up to, you know, 10 miles an hour over the speed limit if you'd like to do that. But yeah, you can turn it on, set either up or down, resume, cancel, lane keep assist system, which seems to work fairly well. And then the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you is here. Now that's the upper portion. The lower portion right here is the volume for the radio, mute the radio, and then you can change to the tracks, and then you have the voice recognition. Now they use the same buttons to change to the tracks as answer the phone calls and hang up with phone calls. So, you know, I guess to have less buttons. So these buttons right here, the menu, OK, up and down, and back button, correspond with the screen up here. We'll get to that in a second. The front and rear wiper is right here. And then the turn signal is here, but it also has the lane keeping assist system. You can quickly turn on or off on the end of the stock there. Okay, so here is the gauge cluster, and it has physical gauges here on the outside. So there's the RPMs, the tachometer. Here on the right side is the speedometer. You do have a digital speedometer in the middle. Fuel gauge, engine coolant temperature, and then it shows a little arrow showing you which side the fuel door is on. It's pretty cool. And then the outside temperatures here, odometer. So let's use these buttons here. This is the menu, this is the back button, and then you have OK and up and down. So I'm just gonna hit the menu button because, let's hit that. So you can see it has digital speedometer, fuel economy, and comm screen. So right now we have the digital speedometer. We can choose fuel economy there in the center, or we can just have basically nothing like that. But I prefer a digital speedometer. Now, if you just go up and down without hitting that menu button, we can make see different things here. Compass, what the radio's doing, what the phone's doing, information about the vehicle if there is any, and then this is basically your different trip, which has a timer, fuel economy, and stuff like that, range, that kind of thing. And so this one right here is your My View, which is the one we set up. And then of course this is your lane keep assist system, driver assist systems basically. So yeah, it's not like super advanced system in here, but it does give you the ability to change your view slightly there in the center, little tiny screen. But it's pretty much a traditional gauge cluster, I guess. Alright, so we saw the start button there. Now this screen is, you can see that it has a touch screen, but that also has some buttons here at the bottom so you can help get to certain places. It has a physical volume knob, tune through the stations, you can change through tracks and stuff, play and pause. You also have a button to turn the screen off. The first press will show a clock and date, which is really handy. Sometimes you need to focus on that, especially on a busy schedule. But if you press it again, then it turns the screen completely off if it's distracting you or whatever. Press it again to pull it back up. All right, so right now we're in the navigation, the sync system, and you can see it has this little home button and it has these tiles here at the bottom. Let's go to the home button, and it gives us to like a split screen basically, where it has the map and then whatever your radio's doing, whatever your phone's doing basically. You can go to specifically audio and go to the different sources here, AM, FM, satellite radio, and Bluetooth audio. And you can see, pull up your phone and you get different information here, your recent calls, phone book, that kind of stuff. And there's the navigation. We can do searches. We can have save places, that kind of stuff. You go into apps, and it just has TravelLink, which actually TravelLink's pretty good, and you can also find more mobile apps as well through the Sync app. Now, TravelLink, let's hit that. Go to fuel prices, because this is something I really like this feature. So there we go. So it shows us the nearest. We're sorting it by distance right now, so we can show the nearest one, how far it is away, how long it is away, as far as how long it takes to drive, and the price of the gas there. But we can change that to price if we want to get really cheap. We can drive 13 miles and get slightly cheaper gas. We can also go, by alphabetical order if there's a particular brand that we're looking for. But yeah, especially if you're traveling and you don't know where you're at and you don't know the area, just to find a gas station. Let's say you like Exxon, or you like Marathon better, or Sunoco, or Shell. Maybe there's a reason why you need to go there, and you can find the nearest one. So this is really cool. So that's just one of the many features that TravelLink has. And there's your settings right here. So you have vehicle settings, driver assistance settings, general settings. A little bit confusing sometimes when you have different things like that, because you would think the driver assistance settings would be under vehicle, but it's not, as separate. And I like the way it has digital clock there at the very top center. But yeah, that's kind of a quick rundown of that screen. There's the physical buttons, which we saw, and then there's a little storage cubby right in here. It is kind of like slick, but it has these texture, but it's not rubberized. So, you could put stuff in there, it could slide around. Climate control is right here. So there's fan speed, temperature, where you want the air to blow, front and rear defrosters. Now it does have heated seats. It's a 3-stage heated seat for the driver and passenger. Right in here is a wireless cell phone charger. It's kind of angled a little bit, but it is it's a little bit rubbery, and it also has little places to secure the phone in place. And then there's the USB-A, USB-C, 12-volt power supply, and a little storage space there as well. There's some cup holders, different size cups. And I like shifters that don't stick up sometimes, depending on the design of the vehicle. So this dial works fine. So go to reverse. Two things will happen. The parking sensors will activate, and then the rear view camera will pop up. You can see a little representation there of the sensors there in the back. But yeah, it has active guidelines, a center line, all that stuff. And you can see the bumper all the way to the sky. And it's a little bit of a wide view, but it doesn't really show you like some other brands where it actually shows you left and right when you're backing out. So you kind of have to, really, there's some blind spots here. It's not super wide view. It'd be nice if it has a super wide view. It just has this zoom in view, but that's as far out as it goes. So the ones that have the super wide view so you can see more to the left and right, I think is a little bit better. So hopefully they'll include that in future models. So there's neutral, drive, then you have a low range here. To press that button in the middle. Electronic parking brake, just lift it up. It engages the rear wheels to engage it. Now it just shows you here on the screen that it's on. There's no light or anything, there's no status light. So you press and hold the brake and then push down on it to release it. This is the brake hold feature, which does have a status light, good. But that basically just holds the vehicle, just keeps the vehicle from rolling and creeping forward when you come to a complete stop. It holds the brake for you, and then you hit the accelerator to resume driving, like if you're at an extended stop sign or stoplight or whatever. Alright, so there's the GOAT mode. So go over any terrain is what it stands for, and basically drive modes. So you have normal, eco, sport, slippery, and sand. So it basically just tells the vehicle what kind of conditions you are in, and it you know, adjusts things appropriately, okay, I guess you could say. So this is fairly soft, kind of bottoms out a little bit after just a little bit, but it's fairly soft, not big enough to share with your passenger, but it's nice. And I still like that pocket there for your cell phone or something. It goes in right about to right there, so it's pretty perfect really for most anything, like a cell phone or whatever. Okay, so this lifts up and it's kind of spring loaded, so it doesn't slap back down on you. And it has a USB-A, USB-C port in here. And it's basically hard plastic and then a felt liner. Got my business cards in here. Actually, kind of need to have them in there so you can see the bottom because it's kind of looking like an abyss. But yeah, it's a just a normal storage compartment. Now it does have, since it has this connectivity here, it does have little places for wires to go in and out of this compartment there and there. So when you close the lid, the wires don't get pinched or anything. The rear view mirror has a manual day and night mode. So manually, old school. So you got these tap lights here, here and here for direct reading lights. Turn on all the interior lights with that button. Turn them all off, or have them in the center position if you want them to turn on with the door. And this opens up and you have a place to put your sunglasses, and it's felt line. It's fairly soft felt lining as well. So the visor is a vinyl material. It's the same color as the headliner, which is a cloth, but it's a vinyl material, which is easier to clean, easier to maintain. Has a little clip right here. Lights with mirror. Kind of soft lights, that's good. And it does slide out, and there's your HomeLink garage door opener controls too. Looking at the visibility here on the back, you can see there's quite a bit of a pillar right there, and then there's another pillar there on the back, but it does that little window which is covered up basically by the headrest. So it's a little bit of a visibility over your shoulder type thing. And so that's another reason why I wish that backup camera was a little bit wider. It does have the rear cross traffic alert, and it has parking sensors, but still, I think it would help out a little bit better. You know, the technology helps out, but being able to just look over your shoulder and look, and without this obstruction would be a little bit better, a little bit safer, I think. Now you can fold those seats down if you need to. If you don't have anybody in the back seats, you can fold them down so you can look out that little window a little bit better. The headrest will be out of the way, but still, you know, it's a little bit of an issue. Like any vehicle, you have to get accustomed to it, and you know, I think it really wouldn't be much of a problem, but it has to be pointed out.